Anan, lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masanggamaw. Number 1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. Cool FM. You are listening to Cool FM. Live from Cool Studios. This is koolNews at 4.
Well, sorry about that about the playout, since apparently it was left automatic. But anyways, good afternoon and welcome to Cool News at 4. I am Karo, and now let's begin into the headlines. Embattled religious leader Pastor Apollo Cupola is only inside the Kingdom of Jesus Christ compound in Davao City, a police official said on Thursday. This was confirmed by Davao Police Regional Office Director Brigadier General Nicholas Torres II in an ambushed interview at Camp Caramim. Yes, that's what the indicators and the informers are telling us, Torres said when asked to confirm if Cupola was just inside the KOG's compound. Cupola and 5 co-accused faced child abuse cases before the Davao City Court. The Pasig City Court also issued an arrest warrant against him before human trafficking. A 10 million peso reward would be given to anyone with information leading to the arrest of Kipoloy, according to Interior Secretary Benjamin Ambalos Jr. Last June 10, some 100 policemen stormed the premises of the KOGC compound in Davao City to serve the warrants of arrest against Kipoloy, but they were prevented by its members from entering. Torres said authorities knew that Cupola was inside the 30-hectare compound when they tried to serve the arrest warrant. Torres also declared there was a hangar for Cupolay's private helicopters in the compound, which the fugitive televangelist could use to escape, and one of his helicopters was active 2 weeks ago. The police alerted airport authorities, but Cupolay's camp said they were only warming up the helicopter, according to the police official. Torres explained there is a plan to conduct another operation against Cupola, but the police are considering the safety and well-being of Cupolay's followers. We don't want anyone to get hurt and blood to get spilled, he added. Hold on. Alright, sorry about the playout about our playout fault earlier. So my bad on that one. Once again, you probably heard the paid announcement for a bit until it was settled. But anyways, let's continue here. I did saw something that the bank Cupolay's bank accounts will be suspended, it seems. Yeah, there it is. This is coming from Philstar. The Court of Appeals has ordered the freezing of bank accounts and assets belonging to fugitive doomsday preacher Apollo Cupola and his co-accused in cases both in the U.S. and local courts. In a 51-page decision promulgated on August 6, the appellate court granted the petition of the Anti-Money Laundering Council, stating that the bank accounts are linked to unlawful activities and predicate crimes allegedly committed by Cupola and the others accused. The freeze order is effective immediately and lasts for 20 days unless extended by the court. During this period, the person or an entity is unable to use their assets and properties. Assets ordered frozen include at least 10 bank accounts belonging to Cupola, 7 real properties, 5 motor vehicles, 1 aircraft, 47 bank accounts belonging to Pauline Canada, a co-accused in Cupola's qualified human trafficking cases, bank accounts of other individuals, Maria Dandan, Helen Panilag, Presente Canada, Ingrid Canada, Sylvia Semanes, Jacqueline Roy, Alona Santander, and Marlon Ocopo. 23 bank accounts of Children's Joy Foundation, a foster care center funded by Kipuloy. Also frozen by the appellate court were 47 bank accounts of Kipuloy's church, the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, and 17 bank accounts of Eswara Sog Media Corporation, the parent company of the suspended Sunshine Media Network International, or shortened as SMNI. The court instructed banks and government agencies to provide information about the frozen bank accounts and assets within 24 hours of receiving a freeze order. Kipuloy, a close ally and spiritual advisor to former President Rodrigo Duterte, is sought by local authorities and the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation on charges of sexual and child abuse, as well as human trafficking. He also faces child and sexual abuse charges before a Quezon City court and a non-bailable qualified trafficking in persons in the Pasig City court. The Philippine economy grew by 6.3% in the second quarter of the year, accelerating from the revised 5.8% growth in the previous quarter as the government spending surged, the Philippine Statistics Authority reported Thursday. The second quarter gross domestic product growth placed well within the government's 6 to 7% target for the year, making it the highest expansion since the 6.4% in last year. This was also faster than the 6% average forecast in the Inquiry poll of 11 economics conducted last week. The PSA attributed the expansion from the construction, which grew by 16%. Trailing behind our wholesale and retail trade, repair of motor vehicles and motorcycles at 5.8%, and financial insurance activities, which expanded by 8.2%. In terms of demand, household final consumption stood at 4.6%, slower than the 5.5% in the April to June period over a year ago. Meanwhile, state spending surged by 10.7% from 1.7% in the previous quarter and bounced back from the 7.1% shortfall last year. This was the highest growth since the 11.1% in the second quarter of 2022. Gross capital formation, the investment component of the economy, accelerated by 11.5% from 0.5%. Net primary income from the rest of the world placed at 24.7%, easing from 57.6% in the previous quarter. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Thursday said police operations during his administration have been humane, as truthful, and as bloodless as possible. Marcos made the pronouncement during the 123rd anniversary of the Philippine National Police at Camp Carem in Quezon City, where he cited several achievements the police force accomplished during his term. The chief executive stressed the need for police officers to stay disciplined and transparent. Indeed, police operations are now conducted as humane, as truthful, and as bloodless as possible, Marcos said in his speech. He attributed this paradigm shift to PNP Chief Police General Romel Marbel's leadership. The president highlighted the need to further develop the PNP to be more welcome in the communities. In carrying out this task, the police need to be disciplined, transparent, and fair. Erring and corrupt police personnel will face the appropriate sanctions, he warned. Remember your mandate and place public safety and service at the core of your duty, he told law enforcers. The president then called on all police officers to support the PNP leadership and sustain current initiatives to maintain the public's increasing confidence in the PNP's abilities. Marcos also vowed to all PNP personnel that the government will prioritize their welfare and the well-being of their families. We will also continue to provide additional logistical resources and advanced information technology tools to further empower our police force, he promised. And the World Health Organization's chief announced Wednesday he was urgently convening an expert committee to advise on whether the growing mpox outbreak in Africa should be declared an international emergency. Since last September, cases have surged in the Democratic Republic of Congo, due to a strain of the virus which has now been detected in nearby African countries. WHO Chief Edros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said that given this spread outside the DR Congo and the potential for further international spread, he had decided to convene an emergency committee. The committee will meet as soon as possible and will be made up of independent experts from a range of relevant disciplines from around the world, he told a press conference. The committee will advise him on whether the outbreak represents a public health emergency of international concern, the highest alarm the WHO can sound. All integros, as the WHO Director General, can declare a PHEIC based on the expert committee's advice. A declaration then triggers emergency responses in countries worldwide under the legally binding international health regulations. Formerly known as monkeypox, mpox is an infectious disease caused by a virus transmitted to humans by affected animals, but can also be passed from human to human through close physical contact. The disease causes fever, muscular aches, and large boil-like skin lesions. Deros said that this year, the DARC had been experiencing a severe outbreak of mpox with more than 14,000 reported cases and 511 deaths. While outbreaks have been reported in the DRC for decades, the number of cases in the first 6 months of this year matched the number registered throughout the whole of 2023. Furthermore, the virus has spread to previously unaffected provinces in Africa's second largest country. In the past month, about 50 confirmed and more suspected cases have been reported in four countries neighboring the DRC that have not reported before are Burundi, Kenya, Rwanda, and Uganda, Deros said. It is now 12 minutes past 4, which is 4:12 in the afternoon, and Cool News at 4 will be right back.
Cool FM.
Welcome back. Mayor Bastian Duterte blamed politics as the reason at least two priority big-ticket projects of the city government here had been put on hold. Duterte said in his State of the City address on Tuesday, August 6, that the Waste-to-Energy project, which formed part of the city's solid waste management, and the proposed high-priority bus system, which would pace out all jeepneys in the city, had not been moving since last year because of the national government failure to produce its counterpart fund. The WTE project has been opposed by environment groups in the city because of the hazard that it brings to human health and the environment, while the high-priority double bus project would finally pace out all jeepneys here, particularly, particularly wiping out the source of livelihood of more than 6,000 drivers and operators, according to the transport group transmission. The WTE project is being funded by a 2.5 billion peso grant from the Japanese government with a 1 billion peso counterpart from the national government. 60% of the 74 billion pesos Davao Bus project is funded by the Asian Development Bank, 38% as the counterpart fund from the national government, and 2% as counterpart from the city government. According to the mayor, both projects failed to move since last year because the national government failed to release its counterpart fund. I think the national government has enough money to invest in this, Duterte said, referring to the WTE facility. The DNR, Department of Environment and Natural Resources, was supposed to give its counterpart fund, but they put on hold the project last year without providing enough explanation, he added. Duterte said the Davao City High Priority Bus Project, also known as the Davao Bus Project, also seemed to face a similar fate. Politics is getting thick here and we have less of nation building, so I doubted if they would put money in the project, the mayor said. I don't want to be pessimistic, I am just being realistic. They started that with the police, he said. The mayor was referring to the recent changes in police leadership here and the regions were implemented by the police Archie without consulting him. He received this as a lashback on the Duterte camp after the breakup of the political alliance between the Marcoses and the Dutertes this year. They don't have clear justification on what they have done. Why did they not put money on the WTE facility? Why there's no money for the high priority bus system that would decongest the Davao City roads, said the mayor, who in several municipal rallies this year had called on President Marcos to resign. He said the president himself had signed an agreement with the ADB for the Davao Bus project in July last year. So let's see if they deliver it. We can't afford it, so let's wait for them to deliver their promise, Duterte said. Both projects, however, had been opposed by different groups here. The Environment Group Interfacing Development Interventions for Sustainability expressed dismay at the mayor's continuous support for the WTE incineration project despite the repeated warnings that such a project would bring adverse effects on humans, and the environment. As we always irritate, burning wastes produce highly hazardous chemicals such as dioxins and furans known to be carcinogenic. These could also impact the neurological development of children, cause respiratory diseases, and pollute our water and air. The project will also worsen the effects of climate change as it incites the city to produce more ways to keep the facility running, I did said in a statement. Local drivers and operators are also bracing themselves against the implementation of the Davao City's bus project, which, according to Larry Aguiles, Secretary General of Transport Group Transmission, would wipe out the livelihood of more than 6,000 drivers and operators actively plying the routes in Davao City, displacing their families. After a 6.3% recorded growth in the country's economy, the Department of Budget and Management on Thursday expressed elation and vowed to focus on job creation and poverty reduction to sustain economic upswing. Budget Secretary Amana Pagkadaman also renewed her call among government agencies to ensure prudent allocation and spending for a lasting economic prosperity. Thus, I renew my call to all government agencies to ensure the judicious allocation and spending of resources so that we can unlock our full potential toward lasting economic prosperity that is felt by all Filipinos, she said in a statement. Rest assured, we are focused on pursuing job-creating growth and poverty-reducing growth, and we are inspired to work even harder toward our inclusive economic transformation and sustainable growth, the secretary added. But Gadaman made the pronouncement after stating that the 6.3% growth in the second quarter gross domestic product felt like winning a gold medal in the 2024 Paris Olympics. The Philippine Statistics Authority earlier reported that the 6.3 growth is the highest expansion the country's economy has felt since the 6.4% in last year's first quarter. Among the factors that contributed to the growth, according to the PSA, was the government's final consumption expenditure of 10.7%. Pagkadaman said this proved that the government's strategic prioritization in the budget effectively implements our agenda for prosperity. The same goes for the 6.352 trillion pesos proposed budget for 2025, she noted, stating that it was crafted with all the most care, diligence, and meticulous attention. And now let's get into the what's happening from around the world as some 40,000 ecstatic voters packed out Philadelphia Arena Tuesday to see their favorite candidate. The next day in Leclerc, Wisconsin, a line of thousands bound for a political rally there stretched more than half a mile. Such impressive numbers have been common at Donald Trump campaign events, but these boisterous jumbo crowds were not for him. They had come to see U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris, his White House rival, who has skyrocketed towards Democratic flag bearer status. Everybody is really hyped. 46-year-old Kina Johnson, who works at automaker Stellantis, told AP on Wednesday and at an airfield in Detroit, Michigan, where a huge rally crowd packed into a hangar and spilling in onto the tarmac awaited Harris and her freshly minted running mate Tim Walz. I think they're going to be bigger and more positive, Johnson said of the Democrats' campaign rallies. It's a good thing for women actually right now. This is making history. Walz, the governor of Minnesota, appeared stunned by the sea of supporters in Michigan, a critical election battleground. Campaign stop put at 15,000 people, and Walz proclaimed it the largest rally of the campaign. The sight of so many Americans attending a Democratic political event was more common during the Barack Obama era, where a charismatic young black candidate broke barriers to become president. It has been beyond rare in the dozen years since Obama and Trump, acutely mindful of the numbers game and insisting large crowds correlate to broad support, relentlessly placed up this party on the campaign trail. But that advantage, less than 3 months before an immensely consequential presidential election, has evaporated as Harris and Walz sent a joint of enthusiasm through the Democratic Party base. That has translated into audience numbers of the charts compared with the smaller, quieter crowds that President Joe Biden has joined this election cycle, or 4 years ago when he won during the coronavirus pandemic that squished large gatherings. And finally, we will be quick with showbiz entertainment news as Gerald Anson was commended by the Philippine Coast Guard for his volunteer efforts in assisting victims of Typhoon Karina and was awarded a Search and Rescue Medal. In a ceremony held at the PCG headquarters in Port Area, Manila on Thursday, Anderson received the award from PCG Commandant Admiral Ronnie Gavan, who commended the actor for his selfless act. And that is it for koolNews at 4. As always, you can get in touch with us at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. And we will be back with more headlines later with koolNews at 6 and koolNews Prime Time at 9. Until then, I am Caro. Good afternoon.